Hello and welcome to Thehayteamtv. Right, it's weekend, there's not a lot going on, but what I'm going to do is go and check the new big bale hay and see how it's getting on. I've left the quad bike round to their barns. We'll go and have a look at them in a minute. I thought I'd walk round to these first. So, how are we going to tell if we've got heat in the bales? Well, we just have a simple thing, and I've meant to get a proper, moisture meter bar things a whole ton of times, and never really got round to it. But, to check the heat of the centre of the bale, we put in bars. Don't have to be any specific bar, just a thin metal bar, which I'll pull one out in a minute. So middle of that one is cool. They've been in straight away. If you see the length of the bar can go all the way through the bale. Not that we ever actually put it all the way through the bale, but it's just, so get back to what I'm talking about. This is just a good way of a little tiny bit of warmth left in that one. A lot of the warmth that we're holding on to is like just day heat. So any of you that don't know, aren't in ag, if you bale on a day and it's 30 degrees, that 30 degrees is going to be stuck in the bale, right? So basically it takes time for that heat to get out of the bales, right? So we don't put probes in loads of them, we just do a few. There's one down here at the back of the stack, so this would be one of the first ones in. I come to this stack first because this stack was more likely to have some form of heat left in it, because this was the last stack that went in the barn and the last set of bales that we baled for hay. So that's why I come to this stack first, because the other stack, I'm pretty sure it was done the week before and it won't have any day heat left in it. But nope, cool as a cucumber. This one didn't go all the way through the bale because back here I can't quite get into the bale, like dead square on. So just so no one gets confused, that there is his and Reg's mother. So it's not Reg, I haven't got both of them. It is just starting to perspirate here again. Wonderful it is. Everyone called for rain, rain's come back and it won't go away again. Isn't that always the way? Now, I'm back in this shed, which could take another couple of fields if we could get the weather for it, which would be brilliant. And same thing, we obviously, this isn't a foolproof system, so we don't often go and put probes up in the middle anywhere, because quite often you just can't get to them. There's usually, we've got one in the back of each line, because these two bays came in first and the bottom two bays came in second. I just kept them split up for the sake of it at the time, because we had the space to keep an eye on them. Like, because as the hay gets later, as we make it, the grass gets older, so it dries easier and there's less problems with it. Now, in here, I haven't pulled these out for a week, so no, these are completely cool as a cucumber. But it is a really simple way of just monitoring what's going on in the part of the bale that you can't really see or can't really feel. And these are those type of, I don't know if anyone's seen them, these type of like metal stakes that usually roadside maintenance lot use them and stuff. We used to, building sites use them. I can't remotely think where I got them from, but I'm sure you could get them from a builder's merchant or other places. You know, you can find them. Probably shouldn't say these things on the YouTube side. Back to what I was on about. This hay is all pretty safe. The third, fourth day of it being in, they were really hot on the middle. All the probes were coming out and they were like scorching, and we were a little bit here and there whether we were going to pull them out the shed again. But fortunately, with the weather being wet, we didn't have to. So we sort of just gave it another 2 days to see what happened, and they all started cooling down. Now, another question that keeps coming up, especially now we've got the tower stack and grab. I will, Ads and I are going to do little Sunday specials on all the new gear of how it's performed or we think it's performed. And I'll go into the reason why we got tower stack and grab properly then. But in these sheds, the shape of the sheds, stacking on the round kind of suits us better. It would technically be easier to bring them in the shed with the new tower grab because of the doorways that we'd be able to bring them in double height, doorways high enough, it wouldn't hit the sides. Being how wide the bales are, it is a little bit of a squeeze getting in. But it's doable. So, and this way, stacking round bales in the shed this way works for us. Anyone that's new to the channel went through this last year. Basically, about 10, 12 years ago, we used to stack everything on towers, and we used to have a big problem, especially on the top bales, getting like too much heat damage on the inside, so they end up getting brown. So if you think about it like a chimney effect, if the bales all start heating up, the bottom bales heat is going to go to the next one, next one, next one, next one. So if you've got bales towered 5, 6 high, that top one could get cooked. We were having problems with like a mildew, almost steamy, bubbly, sort of foamy stuff on the top bale. And that was damaging a good 4 to 5 inches into the bale, which would, not on every bale, but occasionally you get like 1 or 2 within a barn that would get really tarry. And when you smell that sort of tarry caramel hay, where you sort of know that you're really lucky the barn didn't burn down, you know that you've got to sort of change something somewhere. So in that, one of the places we used to deliver, there was an old boy farmer that made a lot of his own hay. We just delivered hay there, but I asked him why he kept his hay the other way around, and he basically explained to me it's just the way he's always done it. He tried towers once, lost a barn, put them on their rounds, found that with round bales, and his barn was similar to ours, it was an old indoor silage pit, but he ripped out the back wall on the far end, so basically he had wind coming through the whole barn all the time. Now, square bales, big square bales, any square bales, makes better in a great big stack where it's sort of all stuck together. Even when you leave it out in field in a big rick, everyone sort of knows that even if it gets weathered, it'll get weather out on the outside of the bales, but the inside of the square bales will keep real nice. Round bales don't tend to like being touching each other quite that much. I know a lot of you in the US put your rounds butted up to each other out in the field because you've got way more space than us. But in a shed, we found doing it this way, which if I turn us around a second, you've got all these gaps along the bottom here between the bales, not so much there, but like generally there's gaps between all the bales, which again sounds a little bit ridiculous. There is a slight bit of airflow that is coming through the back door, through the barn, which helps remove some of that heat. I'm not saying it is, exactly what happens, but that is the principle why we do it. And since stacking them this way, we went away from having hay which was having quite a bit of dust problem to not a lot of dust problem. So that's why we changed. And we don't have the mildewiness anymore, like that sweaty hay especially on top bales, because there's a lot more space around them, and that's why we do it. I'm going to turn that back off because that worked better than normal. So a little quad update whilst we're sort of doing all this sort of thing. Put a new battery on, fired up first time. Quad box, awesome. But when she's not warm, she's taking 4 or 5 heats and a fair amount of turnovers to the starter motor to get going. AKA, she needs new glow plugs. So I'm going to perfection of the quad, but I thought you lot deserve to know that she doesn't start perfectly all the time, but at least she does really have cool stickers. Sticker is important on a working quad, who knows? But also, the winch works really well. Gonna have to get that on trees rather soon. But when she's going, she's awesome. But glow plugs is next. Adam's already told me they are a pain in the ass to fit, and he's not happy about doing it. But you guys can all console him and tell him he's going to be all right, and that might make his life better whilst he hates me, because he's going to have to be, well, he'll probably end up doing it. So we're all at an understanding that no one here is perfect. Late one night putting hay away, I absolutely nailed the reinforced concrete post and shed. Proper job on that, didn't I? Only good thing is, this post literally is for supporting the door. It doesn't overly support the majority of the shed. It has got a bracketry thing up there, but that's nothing we can get a bit of steel and bolt through and maybe remove it if we want to, which would be good because then it would give me better access to get in the shed. So there's the sheer business of my day. It's weekend, so I'm off to do a rugby event. Tug of war ropes, slip and slides, stuff like that, drinking games. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. There'll be more happening next week. If you haven't yet done so, please hit that subscribe, ring the bell, that'd be most appreciated. If you want to find any more of us, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat and Twitter. And merch is on eBay, if Adam's sorted it out by now, which I don't know if he has. But if he hasn't, contact him or me if you want any merch, and we will sort it out. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.